So things are not looking great for Tectone, as he may have just violated his 10-year protective order against his ex-girlfriend Pinkchyu, and it's pretty unfortunate. I mean, bro was only like 9 years and 10 months away, so all that progress completely wasted, as he decided to put out a tweet basically referencing Pinkchyu, which again is completely against his protective order. Luckily, a few people on Twitter were able to archive this, and we can just get into it. Now, for a little context, this is the tweet that Tectone deleted on March 24th, 2026, around 6:23 p.m. He said, "Have y'all ever heard of an SA victim complain they weren't getting enough sex?" And for proof that this was indeed a real tweet by Tectone, here is the Wayback Machine saying Tectone status 203 blah blah blah, right? So basically when you put out a tweet, it's going to give you this URL, and someone backed it up into the Wayback Machine, where Tectone did indeed say, "Y'all ever heard of an SA victim complain they weren't getting enough action?" March 24th, 14:23, 22 Eastern Daylight Time per GMT time zone. And you may be wondering, what the heck could that be in reference to? That's just such an off-the-wall, crazy comment for Tectone to make, and who the heck could he be referring to? That would be none other than Pinkchyu, his ex-girlfriend, the one who got the protective order on him, as she went on to a show called Goth Girls Blind Date 7 Nice Guys, by this YouTuber by the name of David Alvarez, and on this, she ended up giving a few references and basic little hints to Tectone, as well as the other women who were a part of this little show, and they pretty much just talked trash about Tectone the whole time, and it was pretty funny.
Why are you single?
Well, I got out of a pretty bad relationship.
Boo! Boo!
I like sex. I haven't had sex in so long.
Did you know the last guy not have sex with you, or what? What happened?
Well, he was only attracted to anime women, so. But it looked pretty anime. Kawaii desu. Something like that,
What do you mean he was only attracted to anime women? Was he like addicted to
Hi.
So he was addicted to hi? So he was addicted so much he didn't want to have sex with the real thing?
Something along those lines.
Bella, what kind of guy are we looking for Pink?
A guy with hair, number one.
What's this whole, like, bald guys thing?
Bald guys are fine, but her ex was bald, so she needs a change of pace.
So obviously, that video is very heavily catered to people like me, Gooners, but there's a humongous references to Tectone, obviously a bald man who has a humongous love for anime characters, right? You can kind of argue what kind that may be, whether that be lollipops or whether that be boy characters that he's shown interested in. Feel free to do your own research for those topics. But obviously, you can see that Pinkchyu in this video is making references along with his other goth girl named Bella, Neffy, Buttercup. These characters have like freaking Powerpuff Girl nicknames going on. And this is a 40-minute video where they kind of just crack jokes and interview a bunch of random dudes to try to see who's going to try to get into the pants of Pikachu, or maybe get their number. Who knows, right? I don't follow this cup of drama. But this led to a frenzy on the internet. The funny thing is, like, this video already is quite controversial. Pinkchyu in herself, as well as these other ladies involved in this video, are pretty controversial in their own right, because people think that they're like fake goths, right? Like, they're obviously just these like busted up OF girls who want to just get views and clicks to their other websites and whatnot, right? They oftentimes do skits and funny videos and do shows like this so that they can get eyes onto their other platforms, you know, where they're showing their God's given assets and whatnot, and they're able to do that, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. It's just funny how this video has now reached a double meaning, as it went from just something where people laughed at because they thought it was kind of cringe to now being the video that might possibly lead to Tectone violating his protective order. Now, another YouTuber by the name of Mythical LMAO ended up tweeting this out, saying, "You would know a lot about SA, Tectone, considering that you have experience doing it." At least according to the 10-year protective order, you guys know, where the court ended up siding with Pinkchyu over things like SA, over things like forcing her to do things with her mouth that caused her lip filler to move apart, right? Lots of things went down, right? There's a lot of videos you guys can watch if you want to get caught up on what all happened in that situation. But this led to Tectone deleting the tweet. As you can see, here's the link to the original tweet. If we look at the status part up here, that's going to match the status that is on the Wayback Machine to prove that that is indeed the real tweet. It did indeed exist, which led to mythical LMAO being blocked by Tectone. I'm surprised that Tectone has not blocked me, considering like the amount of videos I've made. And the funny thing about this is this may not be the only time that Tectone has violated his protective order, as literally a few weeks back we covered a situation where Tectone was basically sending a video by another creator by the name of Think Before You Sleep. He was sending this video to other creators to react to, and the entire video was basically this Think Before You Sleep guy defending Tectone and calling out Pinkchyu, you know, personally attacking her for doing OF and personally attacking a whole bunch of other like adult content creators.
Again, she's done a number of collabs with Morgpie, like this one here at the gym. God, she must edit her photos a lot. I'm not even looking at the same person when she's on video and in a place where she can't cake on makeup.
So it's obviously a very biased video that was in support of Tectone against Pinkchyu, and by directly sharing this video with people, basically giving your own thoughts on it, you are essentially going against that protective order.
And I know there might be some people thinking, oh my gosh, does Techless even want you to watch this? Yes, he asked me to watch this, so yes. He's told me this one has been in the works for a while. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're going to be watching.
And I guess we can end this saga off with Mizkif's thoughts on this situation, because what would the Tectone drama be without hearing Mizkif's side of all of this?
Are you fucking kidding me, Tectone? Are you going to somehow say this was your schizophrenia doing this again? Or like, I don't even know. Like, what? Why would you ever think that you could tweet this? He actually is the biggest imaginable, chat, because him tweeting this is against his protective order that Pinkchyu has on him for 10 years. They have a protective order. He cannot talk about her publicly, and he not only is talking about her privately, he's publicly on his own Twitter opened his phone, wrote this tweet, and clicked send. He then deleted it, obviously, because I'm sure his lawyer was freaking the out at 3 in the morning, being like, what the are you doing? And Tectone could and should go to jail over this. This might put Tectone in jail. When you break a protective order, that's pretty serious. And there's already been so much to prove that he's done it already. It's been, what, a month? And he's already tweeting about her? Are you kidding me?
Now, I have seen a few people out there saying, you know, it's really unfair that Pinkchyu is able to talk all this crap about Tectone and blah, 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 and she keeps basically stoking the fire, and Tectone can't reply, because if he does, he's violating his protective order, and while you may think that's unfortunate, that's just how the cookie crumbles, right? She's not the one that has a protective order. She's allowed to talk about this situation. Should she? Probably not. Her lawyers would probably advise her not to do that as well, which is why, of course, she's not referencing anything. She's just essentially kind of doing it for content, which, depending on how you feel morally or whatnot, whether you think that's a good thing or not, I don't know. I wouldn't personally, you know, stoke the fire. I feel like if I was in this huge abusive relationship where SA was involved and whatnot, and I was able to get the protection, you know, from the courts to have this protective order against this guy, I wouldn't be kind of teasing it. I wouldn't be going on to now like these fake dating shows, teasing the guy, right? Because there's probably some type of point where, you know, the court will be like, hey, like, maybe you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't tease or, you know, kind of edge on the person who you have the protective order against. But that's just my opinions, right? Like, I don't know how the law would handle that, or what lawyers would think, or, you know, what her attorneys would think, or what Tectone's attorneys can now argue. I don't know. But I do want to know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. As always, peace out.